Maybe we're a little quick at people. Hi, welcome to this episode of Vented Uplift. We're in person. It's kind of weird. We're weird. So this is something new, but it's a special day. Today is 2/2. So if you remember 2/2 for my new set of 2, and it's my 2-year anniversary.
Congratulations.
Thanks. It's kind of I don't know how I feel today. I feel like I'm happy, but I almost feel like it was like so long ago now, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
It's a good thing.
Okay.
But we're going to talk about cancer, because that's what we do around here. And Grissette and I met because everybody, Grissette, oh my God. Can you talk today? Why did I go out last night? Grissette Alvarado-Vargas is here with us from
Long Island.
And from Positive.
Why are you passing it on to me? Passion Positive Coaching.
Yeah, it's because I was out last night and I shouldn't have been. So I was I shouldn't have been out. But it was fun. Or maybe I shouldn't have drank. Maybe that's what should have happened. But anyway, so we're talking about, we met, that was so long ago.
We met about, it was
5 years ago now?
I think it was like 2019, because that's when I was diagnosed.
Right. Okay. Yeah.
I was diagnosed.
Because then we went into 2020 and then, that's
right.
Right.
And then we had the random fundraisers.
BF8 kept trying to happen and it never happened. So Bitch Fest 5, my friend Christine and I had a fashion show for survivors, and you were in the throes of treatment.
Yes.
Right. So we're going to talk about that and talk about her business and just talk about life and knowledge for everyone to understand warning signs and things to look about. We're going to go in deep, a little deeper than usual, because we got a coach with us that's going to help us and give us some tips about how and what we should do and how we feel in the morning and the struggle when you're going through the throes of treatment, when you feel like garbage and, just fighting.
Yes.
So, all right. So, I'm like, oh, I got to play my song. This is like, I'm going to torture you.
We get strength by giving strength. I'm here for you.
This drives me crazy. Nobody see that, okay?
With Vented Uplift, let's get lifted.
Okay, yeah, all right. So anyway, like the most special thing happened when you were doing the fashion show. Like I got to know you. We were talking about your treatment, and you were at a point where you lost your hair.
Yes. Completely bald.
Yeah.
Hair, eyebrows, eyelashes, every hair you can think of on the body, it was gone. So there was upsides. There was some upsides. Exactly.
Oh my God. Then you just
didn't have to shave ever again. It was like, wow, this is great.
Thankfully, your hair is coming beautiful and stuff. So, and I said to you at a moment, like, so here we are, we have hundreds of people in the school, in the Catholic school auditorium. And I had asked you, I'm like, Grissette, what do you think about ripping off your wig? Are you comfortable?
And I said, totally. It was funny because I remember, I think I told you, I already had that in my head. I was like, I wanted to do that. So it was like perfect. It was like perfect.
Yeah, no. So it was amazing. So like at the end of the show, everybody's coming out. She's up on stage and she just pulls off her wig.
I say, fuck cancer.
Fuck it. I think I said
cancer.
Fuck cancer. I think I said to you, Grissette, what do you think about cancer?
And I said,
fuck
cancer.
And everybody went like crazy. It was like the best moment, I think, in all my fundraisers.
Everybody stood up. Everybody clapped.
Everyone
cried. Yeah.
It was really.
It was intense.
It was a moment. But what got you to that? Like, we're going to talk. I want to talk to you about like how you found that strength. But like, let's go with your diagnosis and tell everybody what kind of cancer it is and how you found it.
I was considered stage 2. Well, okay, I'm going to start with how I found it. It's so, because I think this is important for people to hear. I did not have any symptoms. I had no symptoms. There was nothing about my body that told me I have cancer or something's wrong. Something doesn't
Okay.
feel right. I wasn't that person that woke up and was in the shower and said, oh, I have a lump or whatever have you. No, I was not that person at all. It just so happens that I was laid off February 13th from my job. And, insurance is going to end. And I'm like, all right, my insurance is going to run out on February 28th. So let me just go get all my doctor's appointments out of the way. OBGYN, my regular doctor, and then my OBGYN was like, hey, you're in your 40s. Have you gotten your mammogram? And I was like, no, I still haven't done that. And he's like, I'm going to send you for
How
one.
old were you? 40 what?
It was 2000. Oh, you want me to do math in my head? I'm 51 now. And it was in 2019. So it was like 40, 47, 46, 47, something like that around there.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm thinking, all right,
So
it's kind of, that is late.
Years.
Late in the,
Okay.
that is late in the game. But in my defense, for all intents and purposes, there was nobody in my family ever spoke of cancer. Nobody had cancer. For all intents and purposes, nobody had cancer in my family.
Oh,
I'll get to that. I'll get
I
to
know
that
what
in
this
a
is
second.
going to.
Yeah.
Everybody.
Nobody had cancer in my family. So I was like, cancer, that's like the last thing on my mind. I heard about it. I heard people talking about it. And I would be like, wow, that's horrible. However, never did I ever think that wave would come my way. So here I am, going for my first mammogram, February 25th. You'll never forget those dates, right? February 25th, I go and they're doing this mammogram, and it's hysterical because, radiologists never give you
February
results.
25th. So the 28th, you're losing your insurance.
Exactly.
Okay.
So February 25th, I go in, it's like, I think it was a Monday. And I turned around and I said, the woman at the end of the radiologist, they don't ever really give you diagnosis, but she kept going, you're going to be okay. You're going to be okay.
Why was she doing that?
We're going to take care of this. You're going to be okay. And I'm going, what in the name?
Okay, that's like so
about?
they're not even allowed to do that anyway.
Yeah. And I'm looking at her like, what are you talking about? Okay, of what? Yeah, I know I'm going to be okay. Like, what are you talking about? And then when she started making it like there's something there, I started remembering back, my mom or my grandmother, they had kind of like a cyst or something. And I did, so I was like, oh, it's probably or no, calcium buildup it was. And I was like, it's probably a calcium, but it's probably the same thing that my mother had or my grandmother had. I don't remember which one. And I'm thinking to myself, it's the same. It's, that's what it is. They're making a big spiel out of it. Then she's like, we have to do a biopsy. Excuse me? You have to come back in 2 weeks. And I said, well, I don't have 2 weeks because my insurance is ending on the 28th. So she had me come in on the 27th. And I go in, does the biopsy, still again, we're fine. You're going to, just make sure you mentioned something about not having insurance. Make sure you extend your insurance or get COBRA or this and that. And I'm literally looking at her like, what in the world is she talking? Again,
you're still
totally, yep, nope, not registering. The results get to my OBGYN by the following week. By like that Monday, Tuesday, he calls me up and tells me you have precancerous cells. So again, precancerous means to me, oh, I can get cancer, but not that I have cancer. This is how innocent I was with the whole cancer journey, to be quite honest. Because again,
well, but I mean, isn't that obvious?
It doesn't run in my family.
No, I mean, okay, yeah, we're getting to that. We're getting to this.
So, so next thing I know, I hang up and I'm kind of confused. I call my sister, call a couple of friends, girlfriend of mine that works at Memorial Sloan Kettering, and I'm like, I'm really confused. And they're like, well, what kind of cancer? Well, what? And they're asking all these questions that obviously I did not ask, because I think I'm still in the shock. And then I had to call him back and say, okay, I'm really confused. What do you mean by precancerous? He's like, I'm sorry. He's like, I was trying to make light of the situation. You have cancer. And then I was just like, that was it. That was, I'm going to get emotional. That was the world that came and crashed.
Everybody remembers when those words are spoken.
Yeah. It's rough because then you're looking at them kind of like, did I hear right? And then this such a slew of emotions that just come waving through that you just don't even know which end is up. You don't even know where you are at that moment. But anyway, so at that point, thankfully, one of my girlfriends works at Memorial Sloan Kettering, and I reached out to her, and she immediately started sending me information like, you need to talk to this doctor, this oncologist, this one, that one. You're like, she's on the inside, so she knew
That was
who,
great.
Yeah, she knew who I should reach out to, and thankfully for her, I got one of the best treatments that I could ask for there.
Who's your doctor?
My surgeon is Dr. George Pletus. He is an amazing surgeon. Not only is he a surgeon, but he's also part of the cancer research team.
Okay.
As well. And then my oncologist was Dr. Jolinsky. I don't know if you know those names. I don't know.
No, that's what I was asking, because there's a couple of people that we have the same doctor. I'm like, I'm Dr. Capco and Dr. Allen.
Okay, I don't know them. Yeah.
She's a little spunky little thing. You have to like love your doctor. She's like, she's like,
this is a long journey. They become quite up close and personal. You have to love them.
Yeah. I'd be like, okay, so should I do this? Should I do this? What should I stop doing? Like, how can I prevent anything else from coming? And she'd be like, Chrissy, don't ask me. I'm the worst person in the world. I drink hot water out of my car. It's just like, just stop. She's like, just stop researching. Get off Google, please. She was like one of those, and I liked that. And she would sit with me for so long in the room, which I think is
comforting.
Yeah. You don't feel like a number there at Sloan. It's really great.
That is one of the things that I loved about Dr. Pletus. Dr. Pletus would, every time he saw me, he was like, how are you, Grissette? And he would come and give me a hug. Like it was like a family member.
Aww.
And that was a warming, because he really just set the precedence of, relax, we got this. Like, you're in our hands. We're going to help you out,
Right.
And so he diagnosed me with stage 2A, which this was
stage 2A. Okay.
Totally blinds. I have no idea what's a stage. So stage 2A, there's a stage 2A and a stage 2B. So I was stage 2A because it was not in my lymph nodes. It was of a certain size, 2.8. I don't know if it's millimeters or centimeters. I think it's millimeters, maybe.
Right? Isn't it? I don't know. Nobody watched us right now and tell us.
We're wrong. But I know it's whatever it was. I know it was like a 2.8
centimeter,
something. And it fell under the A because I didn't have it in my lymph nodes. Thankfully.
Thank you.
Yeah. So it was just local. And I was triple positive, HER2 positive, progesterone positive, and estrogen positive, but high positive. I was like in the high 90s, like 97, 96. I know you guys don't know what these numbers are, but I guess the higher the numbers, the more.
So I think triple negative is the worst type of breast cancer, and triple positive is also the second worst cancer, breast cancer.
Right.
Yes. So, okay. This is why you had to have.
I had extensive treatment.
All right. So you decide, you go in, you get a lumpectomy.
So I go in. First he wanted to do the, his regimen where he sat me down and went over the regimen. He's like, all right, 16 rounds of chemo.
Oh, first.
He says, because he wants to, because I didn't know, everyone has, okay. So before, disclaimer, every single person that I have met that has gone through breast cancer has had a completely different regimen, cocktail, order of things happening. And it all depends on where the cancer is, the type of cancer, where it's located, how big it is, so on and so forth. So what he said was he wanted to shrink it before he did the lumpectomy. If he was to do the lumpectomy, I would have had, I think, more of a hole, I guess you can say. So he wanted to shrink it, get it as small as he could possibly can, and then go in and do the lumpectomy and remove what was left over. So that's what we did. I was supposed to have 16 rounds, and I say supposed to, because right at number 13, I started getting, my body just wasn't whole, like it was reacting. I started breaking out in rashes. I started.
Let's see if I can figure out how to put the picture up.
Oh, okay.
Go ahead.
We're gonna. Okay, I'll keep talking.
You keep. Yeah.
So, I ended up getting really bad rashes, my arms, my face, my hands, especially. It really started like my hands and kind of like my forearm, and my hands were swollen to the point that I couldn't even like close my hands. It was like my hands were like stuck like this because I was so swollen. And I called them up, which remember, so they're great. So I called MSK. I said, listen, something's going on. They said, can you take pictures and send them? So I said, sure. So I sent the pictures and they're like, oh, you're having an allergic reaction. We're going to have to put you on progesterone. Right?
Don't ask
Is
me.
Is that it?
I don't know.
They put me on.
If there's a nurse watching or somebody, can you write in the comments so we know what we're talking about?
It's the same thing they give you, like when you're having like.
It's amazing when you're in it. Like I just read something this morning, like in my Facebook memories, and I'm like, oh, I don't remember any of that.
Prednisone, not
That's it,
progesterone.
yeah.
Prednisone. I just see it. Clicks in.
And
they gave me
when you're in
prednisone
it, you know it, and then like when you're like out of it, you're like,
what was it
wait,
again?
what? Yeah, because you're going through a lot, and
Yeah.
and kind of some things in your brain don't want to stay there anymore. Maybe
Right.
they want to be like, oh, we're done. We're
Well,
good.
we also have a little chemo brain residue from the chemo. You didn't get chemo. That's right, you didn't.
No,
I did. And that does chemo brains. It's a real thing. Look it up. It's a real thing. I have moments where I'm just like talking. I just totally dead stop. I'm like, what was I saying? So anyway,
no. Okay.
So
well,
they
we can
put
get
me-
to that. We can get to a whole different topic about
Yeah,
that, but I'm going
yes.
to recommend Dr. Amen to watch some of the podcasts and videos about him because I've been trying really hard, even though it doesn't work all the time, I'm trying really hard to help my brain and get it stimulated and, stop that. My mom has the early stage, like the little dementia.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to make sure, like I'm trying to do everything. That's why I cut sugar besides. And then like I'm like trying to like watch and learn and do all these things so we'll get into
I'm gonna
tell you
All
that.
right,
I'm
great.
going to recommend it to you. So it's
Good.
Dr. Amen, like Dr. Amen.
That's easy to remember.
Yeah,
Dr.
really.
Amen.
Yeah,
All right,
Amen. It's all these great things. Oh, and another thing, while I remember, there is a great app that somebody just recommended to me. Holy crap. Like we don't know why we're all getting breast cancer. Like 1 out of 8, women get breast cancer. There is a great
Wow, those
app.
numbers are really going up, aren't they?
And, women of color are higher because your vitamin D levels are lower because it's harder for you to get sun in you and all of us are inside. That's a whole other thing. But, see the point. What's the point? What's the point? That's what I did the other day. It's so bad.
I swear.
Oh, so I remember.
Tea in here. I promise it's tea.
I remember. So it's called the Yucca app.
Okay.
I guess yuck for yuck. Okay. So it's, like a yuck, like a YUKA. Okay. And there's a free version. And if you share it, like send it to somebody, then it'll unlock everything.
And what is it?
It's a barcode and you scan things in food and products. Holy.
Oh, I'm never going to eat.
I was like, oh my God, like the lotion that we thought was really like a safe lotion is a 4 out of 100. 100 is a safe product. It's a 4.
Oh.
4.
Oh, that's not good.
No. So, I think it's a great thing. You want to try to prevent whatever you can from like ever being diagnosed. Like we allow so many toxins into our products in the US, like things like in Italy, they just like Italy and Europe, everywhere, they don't allow it.
Right.
So if I had switched to like,
welcome to the
there's
US.
like cornflakes, like with non-sugar cornflakes, like Kellogg,
Right.
And then I just, I'm like, I'm going to buy these cornflakes from Italy, and I just did the 2 scans, like they're not Frosted Flakes. They're just cornflakes are like, I think maybe it was a 6 out of 100. And the ones from Italy, because they have no preservatives, are like a 94 out of 100.
Wow. Well, we're obviously doing something wrong.
It's like what
We're
it's
definitely
like
doing
when
something
all our
wrong.
youth, our girls are getting like it's crazy. So this is like why we sit and talk and have these conversations. Okay, so now go back after all that.
So they give me prednisone and Benadryl to bring down the swelling and try to calm it down, and fine. Then the next week I go for my number 14 infusion, and same thing happens after 14. Much worse. And now it spreads. Now it's more intense. Now my hands are really swollen. Now it's brighter red. Now it's all over, and I'm going, okay, this is not normal. I'm going to get emotional. I'm going to try not to. But at that moment, I knew my body was just not, my body's done. My body was done. It's like, can't do anymore. I can't do it. So I called them up and I'm like, hey, listen, this is happening again. It's a lot worse. Then they're like, well, It's ironic. So the lady's like, well, I can't keep giving you prednisone. And I'm like, okay, but I'm not the doctor giving myself prednisone. So she's like, we can't, that's dangerous to keep giving you this. So I'm like, okay, so what do I do? They're like, well, we're going to give it to you one more time in Benadryl, and then you'll have to talk to your oncologist. Okay, great.
But it's dangerous for you.
Well, if they keep doing it, it can be dangerous, right? So fast forward to number 15, the night before me going for my 15th transfusion.
And you have no hair at this time.
Oh, I'm totally bald. I'm totally bald. I'm walking like an old lady. I'm super slow. I made it to all my nephew's baseball games though. That's what kept me going. I'll get into that. That's what kept me going. So here I am. I go into, it's the night before, and it kicks in. I literally sit at the edge of my bed, and I'm pretty much like, I can't do it. I can't go in tomorrow. I can't get number 15. My husband comes in and he's like, what's going on? I was like, I'm hysterical crying. Like, I can't do it. My body is telling me no more. Like, I can't do it. My body's reacting because my body is telling me. So one of the biggest things is you want to listen to your doctors. You want to listen to your surgeons. You want to listen to your oncologist, but more importantly, you also have to listen to your body, because your body is going to speak. They're going to do as much as they can to help you under science. However, your body also naturally tells you what it can take and what it can't take. And at this point, my body's literally saying, you're done. My husband's 2 more. You just have 2 more. And I'm going, okay, hysterical all night, crying, woke up crying, called my sister to pick her up because she went to all of my chemos. Thankfully, she's my rock. So I'm trying so hard now to hold it together right now.
It's okay.
So we end up getting to Memorial Sloan Kettering. They're hooking me up. They're doing all the vitals. They're, and as they're doing all of this, I'm just floods. I'm crying because, again, everything inside me is like, this is going to put me over. I literally kept saying, this is going to put me over. And I said to my sister, I'm like, Delia, this is going to put me over. This is going to put me over the edge. I don't know how I'm going to react to this. I don't know how I'm going to come back from this one. And she kept looking at me like, what are you talking, like, what do you mean? And she's like, just see what the doctor says. So we get there. Now I'm in the room waiting to be hooked up to chemo. And before they hooked me up, I said, is my oncologist here? Is Dr. Jerlinski here? And they said, I don't know if she's here in this building or somewhere else. And I said, I don't care if I have to call her on FaceTime. I need to speak to her before I get anything. So they ends up calling her, and they said, she's in the building. She comes up. She says, what's going on? And I said, well, I have all of this. I feel like I'm not going to come back from this. I have all this, feeling, maybe it's in my head. She literally lifts my sleeve, looks at my arm, and said, disconnect her immediately. That's what she said. Disconnect her immediately. And I looked at her and I said, wait, but am I not supposed to get the next one? She said, this is an allergic reaction. Your body is telling you that it can't take anymore. She's like, so we have to stop here. She's like, it's not worth putting you through the torture for 2 more. You're fine. So that was it. I never got 15 and 16.
Now, how much courage did it take to speak up? Because, what happens, and they say, especially women, that, when you're talking to a doctor, that you're like, you're yes, right?
I'm not a yes girl. That's part of
all right. That's good.
For me, I'm not a yes. I'm a why. Why? Okay. Well, what is that going to do? Well, why? I mean, you're putting it in your body. First of all, chemo, I'm not going to lie. I don't want to mess anybody up, but chemo feels like garbage, tastes like garbage, smells like garbage. You can smell it in your nose. You can taste it in your mouth. When you eat food, you don't taste anything but chemo. So if you're putting all this stuff in my body, I want to know why. I don't know what it is, what's it going to do, how it's going to work, how exactly it attacks. I mean, I just I'm a curious cat, always have been. So it's, why, how, what's it going to do? What are the side effects? And it was so funny because I asked about Taxol too. And I said, Taxol, one of the medications that I got in my, was my chemo regimen. And I said, so what are the chances of side effects on Taxol? She goes, oh, that's 12%. You'll be fine. Well, I made the 12%. and then about a month and a half, I finished let me see. So I said I was diagnosed around February 25th. I started chemo April 11th. I finished chemo around August of that year. This is all 2019.
Yeah, and
By
the fashion show was in May, and I remember trying to be like, trying to get you fit. And it's like,
Yeah.
okay, I have a treatment this day. I'm okay. I'll be okay this day. I mean, you were a champ.
I did. I don't know how I did it, but I just did it. I felt that I needed to speak up and people needed to hear and see, pretty much.
And our goal, was to make all of you feel beautiful.
And you did. I felt great.
Yeah.
I felt great. You guys were awesome. Then after the lumpectomy was September of 2019. And then they started me on a maintenance infusion called Cadsilla. And it was exactly that, a maintenance infusion. And 22 rounds of radiation. So, 22 rounds of radiation, your breast is like black charred. It's like a barbecue. You're literally like peeling like the charred pieces. And you're just like, okay, and just lotion as much as possible.
Yeah.
And you keep going.
So you talked to me before we hopped on about, what you would say every morning, like sitting on the side of the bed. Like, so like somebody who's going through this or the throes of this, and they're just like,
How do you keep yourself afloat
like
through it all?
They're terrified, right? They just don't know. So what did you do? How did you find your strength? What are you telling your coaching clients? Like, how do you get through that day?
For me, you have to hang on to something. You have to hang on to something that is worth waking up every morning, getting up out of bed, and moving. And for me, was my nephews. Those are my babies. My sister's boys are the love of my life. There's nothing I wouldn't do for them. And every time I would wake up and my nephew would see me, the little one was too little. He didn't really notice anything. But the other one, Diego, is my nephew, and Diego and Emilio. Emilio was still really young. He's 7 now, so imagine he was really young. He was like about 3 or 4. But Diego was very close to me, and he would always look at me and say, Thea, when is your hair going to grow back? Thea, are you okay? Why are you sick again? And those questions brought me to wake up, push, and put on the smile, put on the makeup, put on the fake eyelashes or whatever. Like, I didn't have fake eyelashes. I used I did my eyebrows, I was like
a pencil. Yeah.
I was just trying to like look somewhat decent, and I was not, even though I got the wig, I wasn't really big on wearing it. It made me too hot.
Yeah, I remember that. You were like,
So
yeah.
So you
rocked it.
Yeah, I still.
Yeah,
and I wore the little, and I had the little caps.
We have that other picture too. Like,
oh no, that picture's because I shaved the one that I shaved my head. I was ready for war with chemo. Like right when I found out that I was going to start going into chemo.
So this is right before?
Yeah. My sister and I, and this is ironic. We didn't realize that was, what is that? Siblings Day. And we didn't even realize it was Siblings Day. My sister came over. We split my hair into 4, just cut it. And then she helped me shave it off. And then that was it. That was the look. That was the look for a little while.
But you rocked it. You did.
Thank you.
Yeah. I mean,
thank you.
Yeah. I mean, but so that was the before.
Yeah.
And then this was like,
oh, that was the worst. That was me at the absolute end. That was me. That's me with prednisone. That's my face looks like potato because I was so swollen. And that was part of the reaction that I was getting.
Right. So to find strength, like I always say, you find strength by giving strength. Mm-hmm. So you gave strength to your nephew.
Yes, which gave me strength because every morning, one of the things, every morning, one of the things I would do is, go online. I couldn't go anywhere. I'm in bed. I'd go online, find a meme, something that resonated with me, post it on Facebook, put, a caption of whatever I'm feeling at that moment in time and just own it and then move on. Saturday mornings or weekends, I would get, I had my nephew's baseball schedule. I would wake up 8:00 in the morning. Everyone would say, no, you don't have to come. Don't worry about it. And I'm like, I have to. I don't get up. I don't do anything else. I have to at least get up and look forward to something. I don't care if I'm walking like a turtle. I don't care if, I don't care if, someone's holding my arm and I'm walking super, I'm going to get there. And I would sit and watch every baseball game. I made every baseball game, and I'm proud of that, because honestly, that's what kept me going. That and the memes in the morning, the positive vibes. I did join a cancer group on Facebook.
Okay.
It was so depressing.
Uh-huh.
It was so depressing. I was like, no, I can't. This is not what I'm looking for. And then I found another, it was called, I forgot what it's called actually, but it's Cancer for Humor. It's all humor and jokes and pretty much laughing at
I
yourself.
like that.
Yeah.
Okay,
It was a
I like
lot of
that.
fun because,
Yeah.
you have to find some type of silver lining
Right.
in any bad situation, not just cancer, but in any bad situation. You have to find the silver lining. And sometimes you have to also understand that you get put through situations not as punishment, but to come out on the other side stronger, better, right?
Well, go finish. And I'm gonna speak to something about that. Go ahead.
It's like you have to take these lessons. If you're the type of person that negative things keep happening and you don't spin it to a positive at the end, you're just going to be a martyr to negative things keep happening to me and I don't understand why. And I didn't want that to be my story. I didn't want that to be me. I kept thinking, all right, I went through this. I don't know why I went through this, but I'm going to find out why I went through this, because I'm going to make it through.
I would say you also probably one of the people that I thought about when I was diagnosed.
Really?
Yeah, because I'm like, well, she was great. Like, because when you're an example for others and why we share, it's like, because you inspire others too.
Thank you.
So I was like, yeah, she was up. She was great. And that's what you think about, like the positive people that are doing it. So the reason why I'm smiling at you as you're telling this is because this whole week, we went to church the other day, and I wish I had the homily like recorded because it was so beautiful.
Really?
And it was talking about, God puts a big boulder in the middle of the road,
Mm-hmm.
and the villager who's supposed to take care of the roads, he's like goes out there every day. He can't move it.
You
every
get
day.
around it or you climb it.
He kept like trying to push it, and he gave up. And the priest is like, well, who do you think showed up? And we're all like, Jesus. And he's like, no, the devil.
Oh.
And the devil was like, yeah, good for you. Yeah. Why you need to do that? Quit. Like you tried,
Mm-hmm. Give up.
And it was just like and then, so there he is. He's like done. He's not participating in life anymore. He let the fear and the anger and just take control of him. And then God comes and says, I didn't tell you to move it. I put that there to give you strength and to make you stronger every day.
See what you're going to do with it.
I mean, it was really like, I'm not doing a good job of it, but it was so beautiful. And it really spoke of like, like when you're like, to me, in my heart, it spoke to like the fear of things that I'm afraid to do.
Yeah.
And it was just like, so to remember that, like, that's the devil, and really
holding
like puts
you back.
It's like, okay, that really makes you think differently.
It does.
If you just say that and be like, oh, and it was just like, it ended with like, like the three things, like, strength and do and to trust in God. Right. So actually, if you go on the website, trust is half price this week, because I did that. I'm like writing the newsletter will get out like next week. So, oh, and here's another gift. Wait, we're going to go back. Oh, here's a gift. Thank you. I had to get you a bunch of stuff. So yeah, you can, but a journal. Ooh, because very cute. I wrote every day. I still write every day, and I find that it's healing. And I'm sure that you tell your clients
that was exactly me that was what Facebook was for me, or like social media, Facebook, Instagram, was just putting out a meme, and then whatever it resonated in me, just writing it out. And it was like a release. It does act like a release.
Yeah. All right. And then, all right, here's your bracelet. Oh, yeah. I got her a whole bunch of, and by the way, I put all the fuck cancer stuff.
I love that.
As every can of cancer on there, even though I did miss some. and I've been told, and that's why there is a shop down in Florida that designed. We helped design their own, and
there's a mug.
the mug. Just so if you have somebody in your life that needs a little pick me up that's going through cancer, I'll have the sale up all weekend to gift them.
Fuck cancer.
Yes.
Fuck cancer.
And I think
that's my MO. And I said fuck cancer.
I know you did.
That was one of the first things I said. It was funny. I know it's going to sound silly, but I literally set myself up to, for war, right? Back in the day, Indians, what do? They shaved their head when they were going to war, or whatever. Anyway, I felt this. I was overwhelmed for 3 weeks. So I'm just kind of backpedal a little bit. When I was first diagnosed, I literally cried for 3 weeks. I don't want to lose my hair. I don't want to lose my hair. My hair was down to here. It was really long.
Oh, wow.
I can't, it's really long. Anyway, I kept saying, I don't want to lose my hair. I don't want to lose my hair. And that's when I decided, you know what? There's only one way to do this. I'm going to shave it. Cancer's not taking the hair away from me. I'm going to do it myself under my control. And that's exactly what helped me. And actually I told somebody else when they were going through their cancer journey, and they ended up doing the same thing. They said, Grissette, that was the best advice, because it just, you're taking control over it instead of waiting for it to happen.
Mm-hmm.
You're like, no, it's not going to happen.
I'm going to make it. Just when is it going to start?
Right. Exactly. Yeah. And the last thing you want to do is be in the shower and see mounds of this hair coming out, for me, at least. Everyone's different. Everyone has the thing that works for them.
My two girlfriends who recently just went through treatment, they did the cold cap.
They offered the cold cap. I have really thin hair. And what I was going to look like a chicken. And I was like, it's going to be $1,000-something or $1,500, not covered with insurance.
It's expensive.
Yeah. It comes out of pocket. And then I'm going to sit there with a freezing
cold. And you
just
got laid off from your job.
And I got laid off, right.
Yeah.
Which I'm going to give everybody a tip in a second on that. Actually, I'm glad you brought that up. And I kept thinking to myself, what am I going to save? What hair am I going to save? I'm going to just look like a chicken. And I was just like, no. I was like, no.
It's a little, yeah.
Chicken little.
Yeah, no, I went and sat with my one friend while she went through and was wearing that. And she's like, just sit. I'm like, I couldn't do this.
No.
I'm like, you're amazing. I mean, my girlfriend is my nose is running, is amazing. She was like a champ. She went through the gym the whole time. So there's people who can react really good to chemo. And then there's people that,
like me.
Yeah. So because she was making dinner, she had 2 young kids. And I think that really she's like, I have to be on, and I was like, you're amazing.
I will never forget the day that I got up and I'm thinking, okay, I just want to feel normal, right? You have these moments, these spurts where you're just like, I just want normalcy. I just want this moment to feel normal. So I get up and I'm like, oh, there's dishes. I'm going to wash dishes. I literally, I think, stood against the sink. I grabbed the cup. I went as far as filling the sponge with soap and then sitting on the floor and going, I'm so tired. I did nothing. I didn't even wash the cup. And then I cried and I was laying on the floor and thankfully I had my cell phone on. I tried to make it a habit to always have my cell phone in case of an emergency. Oh, so I had it. And then I called my sister. I was like, I need help. She was like, oh no. And at the time she was in the middle of a meeting and she's like, I'll be there after the meeting, but I'm going to send somebody over. And she asked her neighbor, her best friend, to come get me. And she did and brought me to my sister's house. It was just a really bad day. I was feeling so like, I'm going to do something great. And it just didn't work out that way. And I just sat on my sister's couch crying until, the day was over, until the next day came. And you kind of you have to own what you feel every single day. If today you're feeling sad, own the sadness and just ride it until it goes away. If in the morning you wake up and you feel energized and you want to do something, try to do it. Even if you don't get to do it, try to do it, because you need to push yourself and feel some normalcy to kind of get through it. So one of the people that really helped me out, one of my girlfriends from high school, I don't want to say fortunately, because it was quite unfortunate that she got breast cancer before I did.
Right.
Like a year and a half before it was. And when I found out, she was one of the first people I reached out to, and she went through all of this first. So she really became my mentor and guided me through the whole way.
I had the same situation. I had 2 girlfriends diagnosed with DCIS the year before. So And that's how I also weighed all my choices, because I both did kind of different things.
Right.
And I listened to the things that they liked best about their choices.
Okay.
And that's how I made my decision.
Gotcha.
So it's really,
Yeah.
really important to reach out to somebody. And some people are very quiet about their, you didn't say this. Some people don't share. They don't want to share. I understand. But it's really
important to share. It's important to share. Well, one, it's important because you have to release it. Like when you're not sharing, you're holding it in.
That's what
and
I
think
feel,
about
yeah.
this. Chemo's already a toxin. Don't add more toxins to your body by holding in the pain, the shame,
it's nothing you did. It's nothing. It's just, yeah.
Yeah. So you already have all these toxins going in. So you have to release something, because if not, you're just going to pile on top. So one of the things that I did, I was like, no, I'm going to talk about it. No, I'm going to release. No, I'm going to do all of this. So my friend Shamira, she was the one that really helped me out. And she gave me so many tips. And one of the ones, going back to what you were saying, because I was out of work, I really tried really hard to do COBRA, right? For insurance.
COBRA's expensive.
Expensive. It was $1,010 a month without me working. And I'm going, well, there goes my unemployment. There goes like
right.
Everything's just going out the window. And I was tapping into my savings. And then I did that for about 3 months. And my girl Shamira was like, listen, stop being proud. She said, stop being proud. Go on public assistance. And I kept going, yeah, but I don't know how that works. I've never been on public assistance. She goes, no. You're trying to be brave. You're trying to, be strong. And, you're trying not to fall under a category. And I said, you know what? You're right. And she says, this isn't about category. This isn't about judgment. She goes, this is about survival.
So were you able to get Medicaid, or
I ended up getting Medicaid, and I got lucky because when I went for Medicaid, they backdated 3 months, and any bills that were coming in still, because that was the thing. I was paying Cobra $1,010, and then I got a bill in the mail for $1,005, not for Cobra, after the insurance covered. So I was like, wait, I'm paying $1,000 for Cobra, thousands of dollars out of my pocket. I'm like, this is not going to work. So I took her advice, thankfully, and I went to a rep, nothing again. And they approved me, and they said, we can approve you all the way back to March. So all those bills that I was starting to get in the mail, they covered them.
That was good.
And that was the best thing I ever did.
Yeah, I mean, we have insurance, but it's like, yeah, it's still like every time you like,
I paid for nothing.
And you can write off your traveling to the hospital.
You can?
Yep.
I didn't know that.
Yep. There's a certain percentage that you can.
See, these are things this is why we need to talk about it.
The tolls, like there's things you can do on your taxes after, because that was like to the cost. Yeah.
I did not know that. I did not.
Yeah. So I figured out how many times like I went back and forth and tried to figure it out. We're like, yeah.
I did not know that. Well, I applied for
that's great. You got that.
I also, the Medicaid was okay. We're talking about, I would get the benefit, and I'm just going to be really transparent. We would get the benefit bills just to see, this is not a bill, but it was like $1 million a month, literally $1 million a month. There was no way that I was going to keep up with that.
Yeah. I'll share a story with you. So when I'm like, I'm waiting for my mother to text me. I didn't put earrings in. That's what's different, Mom. So when Mike and I were very young, when we had our son, and I didn't have insurance. So I wound up getting PCAP, going on PCAP, which is like Medicaid. Like it's like Medicaid. It was just like you had to like make a certain amount and be under
you have to fall in the bracket. Right.
Right. So my son had open heart surgery.
Wow. How
the
old
bill, he was a few days old. Yeah, it was Mother's Day. Oh, that's what, if you read Magnificently Made, my chapter, that's what it's all about. So the bill came, and it was like, I think that we'd still be paying it off to this day. It was like $600,000.
Ooh,
like it was like something like insane. And then it's like,
what do you do?
And
let me see. My son survives or he doesn't survive. Like, of course you're going to do it.
Yeah. So thank God for a PCAP. And then the bill came, and it's like phone, $12. I'm like, I didn't have a phone, but okay. And I wrote a check for $12. And I was like, I mean, like that would have been so detrimental to our life. I mean, like we already had nothing, like, like just young couple, like, we got married, we got like, it's like that's what it's there for.
Yeah.
And so there is no shame in it. I mean, at first I was like,
everybody
I
does,
was a little awkward, and I was very lucky that a family friend took the insurance for me. So I was able to go for an office, but you can ask people, hey, can you take the, sometimes, somebody will accept something out of their regular things if you have a relationship or somebody knows somebody. So it's worth asking as well.
One of the tips that I got was contact when you go to Memorial Sloan Kettering, call and contact the financial department.
Okay.
And make a meeting. Go and set up a meeting and go in person. And I sat and went over what insurances they take, what insurances they don't. Memorial Sloan Kettering even has
payment plan,
and they have like grants too. They have like some grants if they have the money and your extensive case, or you just claiming hardship, they'll give you the money to pay for some of these bills.
Right.
So they did send me a whole sheet of programs, but I called a few of them, but it was like not responsive. So I was like, all right, whatever.
Yeah, but there's also things that there's programs to get a wig. There's there's so many things. American Cancer Society. There's Share Latina. There's all these organizations that you can reach out to and get help, and just call even to get like an opinion. Like a lot of those phone centers are run by survivors, right? So if you're like don't want to tell anybody, at least call somebody that's you can talk to, right? That isn't a friend or work. If you don't want to keep it to yourself, at least you're still talking in some way. You're talking to somebody, right? Yeah, you need that. They don't know who you are. They're not going to tell you family. Right. Oh, so wait. So let's go back
to my quotes. I knew you were going to go there. So, all intents and purposes, there was no cancer in my family. So as soon as I find out that I have cancer, I reach out to some family members, and I tell my dad, and my dad's like, I don't understand. There's no cancer. Well, my dad's older also, and so he forgets. And all of a sudden, voice break. All of a sudden, I find out that my father's sister had stage 4 breast cancer and had her breast removed. They tell me it was like, oh yeah, but that was like 17, 18 years ago. Did anyone want to share that? I mean, I would have been going to get my mammograms much sooner. And by the way, don't wait to get a sign. Just go regularly and get it checked. You're going to save your life doing that much more instead of going like how I did, cold turkey, not knowing anything. So
and also if you have a daughter,
yeah,
they have to start going they're supposed to start going when you were diagnosed 10 years before. And to always get looked and get checked and make sure they're going to the gynecologist. Yeah.
That was one of the first things that they asked me, do you have a sister? And I said, yes. They said, they gave me a piece of paper. They're like, she has to start getting her 3D mammos. And I was like, oh, okay. And I had to give her the information. She made an appointment immediately. Right. So, yeah. So now.
And Sloan actually has that great program too. Your sister can go to Sloan to have her scans done.
Oh, I think she goes to a regular doctor, I think. But I'll let her know that. Unless she's watching and you just heard
me. No. There is, oh my God, what is it called? The STAR program? Is that what it is? I can't remember. I haven't said it in so long. I totally I'm blanking on the name. I can't remember. So what they have though is that you can be watched and have your scans because you have a family member who has cancer, and then they study it. They study the cases as well. So you're kind of helping as well. So anytime she wants to go,
also probably genetically they're testing to see.
So if she wants to go have her mammogram there, she can.
Yeah,
totally.
I'll let her know that.
STAR program. I don't know if that's right. That's what keeps coming.
Well, they did they asked me if I wanted to do the gene test, and at this point, I'm like, yeah, because nobody else told me that there was breast cancer in the family, and that wasn't just the only one. It wasn't just my aunt. Then there was like distant cut, like my father's first cousin and her daughter, and then another cousin, and it's like. I went down the line and it ended up like 7 different people in my family. And I'm like, wait a minute, how did I not know about this? So I have a pet peeve now about staying hush hush, oh, I don't want anyone to know. Let me keep it quiet. There's no shame. And you have to spread it because, especially within your family, because you need your family to know if they need to go get checked. That is so important. It's huge. It's really, really huge. If I did not, I know I shouldn't think about it, but I do sometimes. If I did not get laid off.
When would you have done it?
I don't know. Because I literally rushed to get all of my doctor's appointments done because my insurance was going to end. If I did not get laid off, I don't know what stage I would have been that I would have found it.
So that's finding the lemons.
That is,
you know, making lemonade out of those lemons.
Yep.
Okay. So let's talk, we've been talking, oh my God, we've been talking a while. I feel like talking like 50 minutes. But tell everybody about your business so we can end on that and where to find you and stuff. So tell everybody what you're doing.
So one of the biggest things that I've always wanted to do is become a life coach. I'm a psych major. I work in human resources. Life coach, it kind of all fits together.
Right.
I've never been a great student, to be quite honest. So I held off. I gave myself a lot of anxiety around it. I now realize it was all in my head and the whole freaking thing. So I finally, we do that. So I finally, bit the bullet and I was like, you know what? When I went through this cancer journey, one of the biggest things that I said to myself is I don't want to live with regrets. I've already had regrets before cancer. I can't change those. I could only move forward from here. So the promise I made to myself was I'm going to push myself and have those uncomfortable moments. So I finally got a certification, which I finished yesterday. Yay! I'm officially a life coach. And in the process, I built my business, Passion Positive Coaching, LLC. I could be found on Facebook. I could be found on Instagram. I can...
Under Passion Positive Coaching, LLC.
Correct. Yes. Mm-hmm. Passion Positive. Yes.
Okay. And you're working on a website.
I'm working on the website. It's still in the works. But I do have a phone number and I have my email available there for anybody who is interested.
Okay, great.
And one of the things that I really want to do is help people that are going through a life-changing event, and not just cancer. Cancer obviously is, a strong niche of mine, but not just cancer, divorce, death in the family. How do I get up? How do I move forward from here? It's not therapy, so I'm not a therapist, but it's basically helping you find the answers that are already within you. Sometimes when we're in a situation where we're overly emotional, stressed out over a topic, we're not thinking clear. We're not thinking clear. We're stuck in this like how, but why me? Like we have to pass the why me and get through how can I take this moment and make it a positive? How can I take this moment and find that silver lining, that bright light that I can hang on to and just gravitate towards and go forward? And that's where my passion began, right? With positivity. So I just put it together. I was like, Passion Positive Coaching. That's what it's going to be.
Love it.
I also, if you're, how can I say, my stepdaughter was one that, she got into, I hope she's not watching this because I don't want to say anything, but, sometimes you go into, one of the things that she was talking about was she went into, her major in school. And then later on was like, now she's working in it, she's thinking, I don't know if this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. That's a life change. Also, that's a shift. That's a major shift. So there's a couple of different things that I can help coach you through.
That's great.
I don't have all the answers. I'm never going to be that person that
Does anybody have all the answers?
No. But it's about working together and finding the answers and putting two heads together to find resolutions and ha-ha moments and like, oh, wow, I didn't think of that. And wow, you really just said something that resonated with me. And that's really what it's all about. It's just helping guide and move forward to get to your best self.
I think you're going to be a great coach.
Thank you.
I think so, being in HR, you already are like,
I do leave of absences all day. So all I do is speak to people that have some type of ailment or injury or something that they need time off. So I figured that's what happened. I figured, okay, I'm already doing this in a sense. I might as well get the certification, create my own business. This is what I want to do. This is what I want to do once I retire. What now through retirement? It's just help other people. If I can make this much of a difference or help one person out there, I fulfilled my.
Yeah. I think, God gives us these things so we can help others, right?
Right. And going back to what we were saying, you have to find the silver lining. It's like, don't wallow in why me, wallow in, not in a wallowing way. Say, why me? What is it that I'm supposed to do? What's the message?
Right.
Who am I supposed to be? How am I supposed to, why me, but in a positive way? Why me? Who, am I the carrier of this? It's now I have to.
What do you want me to do with it?
Yes. What do you want me to do with this? Like, you gave me all of this, and God knows, before cancer, I have a plethora of other stuff that I've been through that I can totally put it together. Now, after going through cancer and going through this whole journey, I realized there's a whole slew of things that I've been through in my life, and there's a reason for it. I could not become a coach and help others get through difficult times, or, just find light on the other end if it wasn't for the experiences that I went through. So I decided I was not going to be a martyr to my story, but more of an inspiration, because I have a story.
Beautiful. All right. And with that, we're going to end. So thank you so much for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah. See, she's
so honored.
She was afraid. Thank you for spending, 2-2 with me, and
Absolutely.
the groundhog said it's an early spring, because if the sun doesn't come out, though, I have to say,
that's
if
right.
the sun
It's
doesn't
Groundhog's Day today, right?
Yes. And it's early spring. But if the sun could just come out for 1 minute, I'd be really happy.
Yeah, it would be nice. This is doom and gloom. I can't stand it.
Yeah.
I'm just glad that I'm coming out of work and at least there's still a little bit of light out. I'm looking, I was like, oh, it's coming.
I think the sun is coming tomorrow. I think so.
And I'm hoping we saw all the snow that we're going to get.
I know, I'm over it too. But remember, vitamin D is really, really, really important. And that's how you can fight breast cancer, because you're able to turn those cells over. Not one person at my gynecologist office in Bay Ridge has appropriate amount of vitamin D. Not one.
Mm-hmm. I believe it.
So make sure you're doing it. Get a sun lamp. I'm going to order a sun lamp.
I thought of that too. I thought of getting a sun lamp. But in the summer, I'm a big beach person. So in the summer, even the summer while going through chemo, I literally dragged my ass and sat at the beach. I was totally covered with a hat and a whole robe, but I was like, nope, I'm sitting here and I'm going to enjoy the sound of the waves.
Well, that's why they send people to the sea back then, Yeah.
Vitamin C. Mm-hmm. It works.
Yeah, it works. It does.
Vitamin C works.
All right. So remember, you can get all our F Cancer products half price. So go gift somebody this weekend. The Trust bracelet is half price. Every now and again, I put a different one on. So if you have somebody in your life that needs a little pick me up, go get them a little gift and go celebrate life. Because remember, life's too short. We got to live it.
Too short.
So go have fun. All right, everybody. Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.